Namaste everyone, Radhe Krishna. So we have started a session wherein we are going to look at the meanings, the story and the significance behind the 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu as mentioned in the Vishnu Sahasranama. So before that, let's have a background look at what exactly is the Vishnu Sahasranama, what is the significance behind it, what is the background story and so on. Now, the first question itself that should rather come in the minds of all of us is that before we learn the Vishnu Sahasranama, or why do we even have to chant stotras and texts like the Sahasranama, or why should we even chant the names of the Lord? And even though we are chanting the names of the Lord, maybe you can say Vishnu, Rama, Krishna, you can stick to one name. Why do we need 1,000 names or even more than that? Not only Vishnu Sahasranama, we have different Sahasranamas. Sahasranama, Sahasram, 1,000 nama names. Like the Lalita Sahasranama, Ganesha Sahasranama, Shiva Sahasranama, and so on. Why do we even need 1,000 names of the Lord? So, what is the importance of this Nama, or what is the importance of chanting the different names of the Lord? That first let us have a look, so that before we start learning, before we start looking at the meanings of each of this name, we have to first know why do we even chant, or why have people all these years been chanting the different names of the Lord? What is the significance behind it? Now, we have a famous outlook that takes place all through our scriptures. If you see, like the Ramayana, Mahabharata, and so on, that is Shatro Prakhyata Veryasya, meaning that even enemies also, like the Rakshasas and demons, even they tend to praise gods. One example from the Ramayana, Shurpanakha, whose nose was cut by Lakshmana. After that, when she goes to Khara and Dushana, she goes and tells her brothers that two brothers are living in the forest along with Sita, and one brother, he has cut my nose. So there, how she describes both the brothers Rama and Lakshmana: Tarunau Rupa Sampannau Sukumarau Mahabalau Pundarika Vishalakshau Chira Krishna Jinambarau. Meaning that two very handsome youth have come there having lotus like eyes, and they are very charming to look at. Which enemy, or would we also describe an enemy this way? If someone comes and hits us, do we describe that person? Oh, he was a very handsome person who came and gave a tight slap on my face. Do you ever do that? No. But in the case of God, in the case of great men and incarnations of God like Rama and Lakshmana, even demons and Rakshasas also praise them this way. Further, we also have Duryodhana in the Mahabharata, who describes Lord Krishna having lotus eyes. So, though he knew that Krishna is his enemy, he is supporting his enemy, the Pandavas, still he described Krishna this way. Then we also have Mandodari and Tara. Mandodari, wife of Ravana, Tara, wife of Vali. They were good by nature, but they also have praised Rama, who was a killer of their husbands, but still they also have praised Rama. So this is the importance of Nama Mahima, wherein, or the importance of Lord, wherein even the Shatrus or the enemies also tend to praise the Lord. Further now, one more significance of this Nama when we talk about, it is said that more than Lord himself, the names of Lord come and protect us. For this, there are two references, again, each from the Ramayana and Mahabharata. Ramayana, we have Shabri, the famous incident of Shabri Moksha. Now, Shabri had never ever seen Rama before, but her guru, sage Matanga Muni, tells her that you keep worshipping Rama, you keep chanting the Ramanama, the divine names of Rama, and you just keep worshipping him. She listened to her guru and she continuously kept chanting the names of Rama, and that ultimately caused Rama to come to her ashrama, and Shabri got the divine darshan of Rama. So this is the power of Ramanama. Further again, if we go to the Mahabharata, the famous Draupadi Vastraharana incident, what happens there? Draupadi, when Yudhishthira and all the four brothers, when they had even lost Draupadi in the Dyuta, in the gambling game that they were playing, in the game of dice, so one person called Priyamvada, he goes to bring out Draupadi, and during that time she was in her inner apartments, and Priyamvada, who was standing outside, he calls out to her, he calls out to her saying that, oh lady, please come outside, the king and everyone is calling you to the main hall. So Draupadi was a bit hesitant at that time, but then immediately Dushasana comes there and said, why you are calling this lady in such a pleasant, affectionate way? let us pull her and bring. And that's how Dushasana pulls her by her hair and brings her to the main hall. So, and then he tries to remove her clothes. At that time, Krishna was not present there. She did not even call out to her husbands. She had 5 husbands, the Pancha Pandavas there. She just kept chanting the names of Krishna. She called out to Krishna from Hastinapura in today's Haryana. Krishna was present in Dwaraka in today's Gujarat. Krishna was not at all physically present there, but who protected her? The names of Krishna. Just by chanting, calling out to the Lord, that Krishna had to come and protect her. Or the Krishna Nama, the names of the Lord have protected her. How did he protect? When her sari, the sari that Dushasana was pulling, when that got over, another sari used to come in its place. So Dushasana kept pulling, pulling and pulling, and new saris kept on adding to this sari of Draupadi. Now, how come so many saris came? There is a folklore behind this saying that from the Mangalya thread, the thread that a woman wear after getting married, from all the Kaurava Patnis, from the wives of the Kauravas, the Mangalya thread that they were wearing, Krishna removed from those threads, he made saris and he provided for Draupadi, says a legend. Now this shows that now usually when do women don't wear the Mangalya thread or the Mangal Sutra after the death of her husband. So this again showed that all the Kaurava women that the death of your husbands is very near. Therefore anyways you're going to lose it and you have to remove this Mangalyam thread. So using that thread, this was a sign that the Kauravas' end was very near, and using that thread Krishna had made saris for Draupadi. So again one more significance of how the Nama of the Lord has protected Draupadi in the court. Now Ramayana and Mahabharata, these are itihasas. Itihasa meaning as it is. So Ramayana and Mahabharata, they are like recorded versions of the story. Ramayana has been composed by Valmiki. Mahabharata has been composed by Vyasa. So both of them were present during the happenings of both Ramayana and Mahabharata. Therefore, it cannot be just a mere imagination or a fictional story. It has to be reality. So Valmiki and Vyasa, they have not added any of their own creativity or imagination into the story. They have just portrayed or they have just recorded the happenings that they see around them. Now Valmiki, how was he present during Ramayana times? During the Vanavasa, Rama, Lakshmana and Sita have said to have visited Valmiki's ashrama. Later in the Uttarakanda, Sita, she gives birth to her sons in Valmiki's ashrama. That means Valmiki was very much present during the Ramayana period. Vyasacharya, we have the story, Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, Satyavati, the mother of Vyasa. So the birth of Vyasa, that story also is a part of Mahabharata. Further, during the Rajasuya sacrifice done by Yudhishthira, Vyasacharya was present there. So again, these are a few references when both Valmiki and Vyasa are present during the Ramayana and Mahabharata. Therefore, they have not used their imagination in writing the story. They have just recorded the story as it is. Therefore, both Ramayana and Mahabharata are called as itihasas. Now, the Vedas themselves say that itihasa puranabhyam vedam samupabrahmayed viveka kalpashrutad vedat mamayam kalpayishyati. That means the Vedas themselves say that, or they claim saying that the next step after the Vedas or after our importance, the next importance has to be given to the itihasas, that is Ramayana and Mahabharata. Now Ramayana and Mahabharata are in the form of stories which is easily available as well as easily it can be understood by the common man. In our everyday lives also, if something is explained with the help of a story or with the help of an example, we understand that more clearly. Therefore, Ramayana and Mahabharata have gained a lot of importance. Now, the Vishnu Sahasranama, the topic which we are going to learn, that is a part of Mahabharata. Now, Mahabharata has given us 5 important gems or Pancharatnani. What are that? First is Yaksha Prashnam. That means the question answer session between Yaksha and Yudhishthira. So Yaksha asks different questions, very beautiful questions to Yudhishthira, and Yudhishthira has answers for all that. Second is Viduraniti, the conversation between Dhritarashtra and Vidura. Sanat Sujatiya, conversation between Dhritarashtra and the sages Sanat Sujatiya. Then the Bhagavad Gita, conversation between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. And lastly is the Vishnu Sahasranama, conversation between Bhishma and Yudhishthira. So these are the 5 gems that have been given by the Mahabharata to the whole world. Now, coming back to our topic of Vishnu Sahasranama, Yudhishthira, after the war was over and only the 5 Pandavas were alive, and the unborn son of Abhimanyu, that is the grandson of Arjuna, when he was inside the womb of Uttara, Abhimanyu's wife, Arjuna's daughter-in-law, only these 5 people were alive. So at that time, and Bhishma had this boon that whenever he wills, he can choose his death. So Bhishmacharya was also present there. At that time, now all the war was done. Yudhishthira knew that he has to become the next king. So he goes and consults. The only elderly person remaining was Bhishma. So he goes to Bhishma and asks him, now you give me some advice how to rule about and so on. So the conversation between Bhishma and Yudhishthira actually forms the base of the Vishnu Sahasranama. So there Yudhishthira asks a question to Bhishma saying that which is the greatest stotra or different kinds of worship I have to do, what should I do that? So that is where Bhishma starts Jagat Prabhum Deva Devam Anantam and so on. So Bhishma tells that you just keep chanting the 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu, that itself will lead to peace and happiness and you will be able to rule your kingdom properly. So this is the base story or the background story of how the Vishnu Sahasranama came as a gift to the whole world. Now in the Vishnu Sahasranama, 900 names are all different or unique names of Lord Vishnu, but the few hundred names have been repeated. But when there is a repetition of a few names, for the same name, 2 different meanings can be interpreted. Now there have been different acharyas who have written commentaries or bhashyas like Adi Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya and so on. So we have got people who have written commentaries on the Vishnu Sahasranama, based on which we can look at the meanings of each of the 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu. So this is the Nama Mahima, or this is the importance of why the names of the Lord have to be chanted. And while chanting the Vishnu Sahasranama also, we have a preface, that is, I told you, the Vishnu Sahasranama is a part of the Mahabharata. Therefore, there has to be some continuation to the main story. Suddenly, it does not start with the 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu. That is why it starts with Shuklam, Bradaram, Vishnum, the Dhyana Shlokas. Then we have Vaishampayana Uvacha. Now, originally, Mahabharata, this epic is a conversation between Janamejaya. Who was Janamejaya? Parikshit's son Janamejaya, Arjuna's great-grandson Janamejaya. The conversation between Janamejaya and a sage called Vaishampayana. So wherein the sage goes to the kingdom of Janamejaya and he tells him the story of Mahabharata, the story of his ancestors. So the conversation between Vaishampayana and Janamejaya is the epic Mahabharata. So it is a continuation of that story, more than 1 lakh verses. So Mahabharata, in that one part is the Vishnu Sahasranama. So that is why those who are familiar with the Vishnu Sahasranama, you will know that Vaishampayana Uvacha, you get that Shrutva Dharmana Sheshenam and so on. Then Yudhishthira Uvacha Kimekam Daivatam Loke Kim Vapyekam Parayanam. Yudhishthira questions Bhishma, what should I do, or which is the best possible stotra that I can chant. And then Bhishma starts Jagat Prabhum Deva Deva. Then you have the Dhyana Shlokas. Then actually the 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu, it ends with Vanamadi Gadi Shangi Shanki Chakri Chanandaki Shriman Narayano Vishnur Vasudeva and so on. With this, finally it gets concluded with the Phalashruti part, wherein goddess Parvati, she asks Shiva, Kenopayena Laguna Vishnor Nama Sahasrakam Pathyate Panditer Nityam Shrotumichhamyam Prabhu. She asks Shiva that if people don't have time to chant the entire Sahasranama, now you know that for chanting the Sahasranama we don't need more than 20 minutes. But still, if you don't have time, then is there some shortcut to it? So then we have Ishvara Vacha, Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varanane. Lord Shiva says, if you cannot chant the whole Sahasranama, chant the names of Rama 3 times. Shri Rama Rama Rameti, that is equal to chant the 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu. How is this? Now those are familiar with Sanskrit letters. You will know that R, Rama, it is a combination of 2 letters, R and Ma. R, if you see, Y, R, L, V. R is the second letter, 2. Ma, P, P, B, B, Ma. Ma is the 5th letter. 2 into 5, 2 multiplied by 5, 10. So Rama, this is 1. This word together forms a number 10. Rama, 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 3 times, 10 into 10 into 10, 1000. So it is equal to chanting the 1000 names of Lord Vishnu. So this is a calculation, or this is the answer that Lord Shiva tells Parvati, which comes as a part of Phalashruti. So this is the background story of the Vishnu Sahasranama, or the greatness or the significance of Vishnu Sahasranama. Now we also have the Gita. All the texts are important. The Gita has been told by Lord himself, but the Vishnu Sahasranama has been told by a devotee of the Lord, Bhishmacharya, and Vishnu or Lord Krishna was very much present there, listening to his own glories, listening to the conversation between Bhishma and Yudhishthira. Therefore, it is said, now all the texts are important. There is no discrimination between texts saying that is the Gita great or is the Vishnu Sahasranama great. No. But even today, if you see, everyone chants the Gita, everyone chants the Sahasranama. But how many of us, if you ask someone, do you know the Sahasranama by heart or do you know the Gita by heart? Many people will come with this answer that I know the Sahasranama. That is because chanting the names of the Lord is greater than the words of Lord himself that have been told. Therefore, for the Lord, something told by his devotees is more greater than what he himself has done. So therefore, there is a lot of importance for this Vishnu Sahasranama. One more important significance is, when I say the Sahasranama, or when people, you listen to this word, the immediate thought that comes to all of our minds is Vishnu Sahasranama. Now it is not that we don't have other Sahasranamas like Lalita, Ganesha, Shiva and so on. We have different Sahasranamas. But the significance of Sahasranama, when you hear the word Sahasranama, first thought that comes to all of our minds is Vishnu Sahasranama. Or the same happens in the case of the Gita. When I say Gita, there are different Gitas, Devi Gita, Yama Gita, Ishwara Gita and so on. Someone says Gita, only one thought comes, Bhagavad Gita. For this, Adi Shankaracharya says in his treatise, Bhaja Govindam, Geyam Gita Nama Sahasram, Deyam Shripati Rupa Majasram, Geyam Gita Nama Sahasram. He says just by hearing, this is the Mahima, this is the greatness of the Bhagavad Gita and Vishnu Sahasranama, that we don't even have to add the word Bhagavat and Vishnu. Just say Gita, just say Sahasranama, we can immediately make out it will be Bhagavad Gita and the Vishnu Sahasranama. So this is the importance and significance of the Vishnu Sahasranama. We are going to see the meanings of the 1000 names of Lord Vishnu. Each of these names has got a story, a significance and a meaning behind it. So that's what we'll be seeing from the next class. This is just an introduction of the Vishnu Sahasranama. Okay. Thank you everyone. Hari Om. Dhanyavadaha.